I want to talk to you about you. Let's say you're trying to get a new LLC business line of credit from a big national bank and you have fair or bad credit. Okay. How do you get approved? Hands down.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flower that's stinging from the beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you ever ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, we want to talk about new LLC business line of credit from a big national bank with bad or fair credit. How do you get approved? Hands down. And so here are the steps you need to follow, okay? First, let's talk about legitimacy. You need to convince the bank that you are indeed a legit bank. And we've said this time and again, don't you walk around the neighborhood telling everybody that you have a company, but your business is not legit. So when I talk about legitimacy, I want you to pay attention to a few things. What is your legal structure? What is the legal structure of your business? You're an LLC, okay, because this is about LLCs. Do you have articles of organization? This is important. Do you have operating bylaws? Those are the kind of documents that the bank will ask you. Remember, no doc or low doc business loan doesn't work with banks and credit unions. Okay, though that kind of stuff works with alternative lenders. But for a bank, they want to see paperwork. They want to see that you are legit and that you are compliant. You need to show the bank your certificate of good standing. Dad, mom, I'm talking to you. Sister, brother, I'm talking to you. So you want to show your certificate of good standing, okay? And you also want to have your EIN. Cuz, are you there? If you're there, you better have your EIN right now, your employer identification number, and you get that number on the IRS's website. Nothing complicated. Don't let anybody razzle dazzle you with, I'm going to do this for you and you're going to pay me $100. It's free. Don't you let anybody scam you and say, well, they'll do it for you. You can do it yourself, okay? As a matter of fact, we have a video on our channel that explains the whole process, okay? Try to open a business bank account. And ideally, you want to have the business bank account at the very bank where you are trying to apply for a new LLC business line of credit, okay? And you also want to have your business address, your phone, and email, everything, all the accoutrements of a legit business, okay? So here are the pro tips. You want to make sure that you are legit. Do you have your certificate of good standing? You want to have your EIN, business bank account, okay? Business address. It doesn't matter if you work from home, that's fine, but you need to have at a minimum a business email address, okay? You're trying to portray the image. You're trying to portray an image of legitimacy vis-a-vis the bank. The second thing I want you to pay attention to is to pick the right lender, okay? Ideally, again, this is important, and this is a logic. I call it country logic. You want to start with your own bank. Yeah. It's kind of funny. Some people, they bank with Bank of America, and they want to get a new LLC business line of credit from Chase. Well, good luck. Or if you have accounts with both banks, that's fine. But if you don't have an account with Chase most likely will deny your ass. Okay, they'll deny your ass. But you know why? Because they have no relationship with you. And on top of that, you are a new LLC business. We know that, I would say conventionally, all big banks are risk averse. They don't want risk, okay? And so when you're new, they are more hesitant to actually give you money. And if on top of that, you have no relationship with them, they're not going to give you some cash. They ain't no fool, okay? So you want to have a strong MPR at the personal level. So you want to start with your own bank. You want to have a strong multi-product relationship at the personal level, because remember, at the LLC level, you're new. So you have not established an operational history here. So you want to start with your personal relationship. Do you have a checking account? Do you have a savings account? Do you have an IRA at the bank? Do you have an MMA money market account at the bank? Do you have a CD at the bank? Those counts a lot, okay? And while you're doing this, you want to maintain a positive history with the bank. In other words, you want to steer clear of NSF events I'm talking about overdrafts, okay, non-sufficient fund events, okay. The bottom line is you want to keep a clean check system file. Very important, okay. And because a credit decision is not just about your FICO score. They look at a constellation of factors. Very important. So I've just told you about making sure that you have checking, savings, investment, IRAs at the personal level. You also want to have a business bank account at the bank itself, okay? And you want to start building NPR at the business level also. You want to start building your relationship with the bank at the business level. So even if your LLC is new, it doesn't matter if you have a relationship with the bank. Okay, you're banking with them. They're seeing that you are actually trying to make things work. Okay, so big decision time, boss. I want you right now. If you have a new LLC, you're trying to get a business line of credit from a big bank and you have fair or poor credit. I want you right now to start building their relationship at the business level. Do that for me. The third thing I want to talk to you about is your personal FICO. See, we are talking about new LLC, business line of credit, okay? Which means what? By definition, your business has no business credit score. Your business has no Paydex score. Your business is not in Experian Businesses archives or databases, right? So, or Equifax for that matter. So you want to check your FICO. You want to start by checking your FICO so you have a clear idea. You want to have a definitive idea of what kind of FICO you have. You know, the funny thing is people just walk around, I have a FICO score of 750, or, they go to family reunions and they are trying to brag about their credit score. And you realize, hey, listen, this guy is banking, they're doing really good. But when you actually check, they are around 625. Because I don't want that thing to happen to you. In other words, there's a big chasm. There's a big gap between what you think your FICO score is and what it is in reality. Okay, so you want to check your FICO score. You can actually go to annualcreditreport.com and you can get your FICO score. You can go to Credit Karma. You can go to Wallet Hub. You can go to Nerd Wallet. You can actually go to the bank where you are right now. A lot of credit card issuers, a lot of banks, they offer you a free FICO score. Okay, and if there are any derogatory items, any adverse items on your credit report, you want to dispute them. Okay, you can dispute them with quote unquote the data furnishers. In other words, the lenders who have reported the item in the first place, or you can also dispute it with credit reporting agencies. Important. And when we talk about FICO score, we also want to talk about your CUR, your credit utilization ratio. Those are important. Boss, I'm telling you, the funny thing is people say, I don't understand why my FICO score ain't going up. I'm doing everything right. I'm paying my balances in full. Well, guess what? Your DTI, your debt to income ratio, plays an important role too. In other words, you probably paying your bills on time, but your debt payments in relation to your income is still high. So if you're around 25, if you're around 35%, 40%, or 50% as DTI, you're not in good company. You want to be below 30%. You want to be below 1/3, 33%. Okay, and you want to pay attention also to your length of credit history. So when we talk about your credit score, what I'm trying to say here is that if you start a new LLC, okay, you want a business line of credit from a big national bank, and you have thin credit, that ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work. Okay, and also, what about your credit mix and recent inquiries? You want to keep those as low as possible. I want to talk to you now about cash. Money. All right, so this is important. Let's quickly have a clear idea what we're talking about here. We are speaking about a new LLC business line of credit from a big national bank. Okay, which means what? The business by definition has no cash. So you need to maintain a positive liquidity level at the personal level. Let me explain that. You can't be having bouncing checks. You can't be having like $100 in your account or $25 in your account. No, you need to maintain something 4 digits or 5 digits. This is what I mean by maintaining positive liquidity at the personal level. In other words, you want to have positive net worth. Assets minus liabilities. You want to have positive net worth. So your numbers must be in the dark, in the black, as they say in stock markets. You or in the green, as they say in other places. It's really important. The funny thing is sometimes that was funny. Last time I was at a friend's party in somewhere in Alabama, and they were talking about, hey, listen, I have a new LLC, and I'm applying for this business line of credit, and my ass gets denied and denied and denied. Well, if you don't have no positive net worth, or if you have a tiny ass deposit in your accounts, that ain't gonna work. Okay, you want to control also LLC cost at the beginning. This is what's going to help you maintain a positive cash flow, a positive cash position. So you want to be very careful about those startup costs, which can add up real quick. Okay, and you can have good personal credit cards. Make sure that you have those personal credit cards. You have a good payment history on them. In other words, it doesn't matter if you have 3 or 4 credit cards, but you haven't sort of rocky payment history on them. That ain't gonna work. It's not gonna help you. Okay, and the thing is, you have to be able to explain to the bank, where do you derive your revenue from? It's not just about depositing 10,000 every now and then in your account without explanation. You need to be explained. You need to verify your source of revenue, your source of income. Okay, money. So what is your cash position right now, boss? Talk to me about that. Don't you walk around without telling me. Are you in the red? Are you in the black, as they say? What is your situation? Are you somewhere in the middle? Okay, whatever your situation, you want to continue to beef it up. The higher, the better. Very important. Let's talk now about collateral. Collateral is really important because if you are a new LLC business line of credit, if you are a new LLC and you want a business line of credit from a big bank, the bank might ask you to secure the line of credit. Okay, in other words, they want you to pledge personal collateral if you can. So when we talk about pledging personal collateral, we are speaking about your ass is on the line, right? Because the bank is trying to cover their ass, but you have to pledge personal assets. It's not a good position to be in strategically and economically, but if you want the business line of credit real bad, you're gonna have to have skin in the game. I'm just telling you straight. Don't let anybody just lie to you and say, well, you're gonna get the new LLC business line of credit from a big bank without actually pledging anything. It ain't happening. Unless, again, you have a long relationship with the bank at the personal level, and they know you. They know you by first name. You're not just a number in their system, an account number. No, they know you by first name at your local branch. This could be possible. And you might also pledge business assets. In other words, if you have some business assets, like equipment or machinery, and you want to pledge those, you can pledge that as well. Okay. And what I'm trying to say is, overall, if you have to pledge something, the question is it better to get a new LLC business line of credit, or is it maybe better to get a secured business credit card? Because you have to think about that here. And if you are thinking about the secure business credit card, Wells Fargo's card is not a bad one. You can reap rewards on the card, okay? And this is what it is. Now, if you choose to pledge your collateral, make sure that you have clear title on the asset you want to pledge as collateral. Very important. So that you really have a clear, definitive idea of what you're pledging. So here is a winner strategy for you. Make sure, first, identify the kind of asset you want to pledge. This could be a personal asset or a business asset. Okay. Number 2, you want to verify the value of, you want to appraise that asset. Okay. And number 3, you want to see if the bank will be amenable to you pledging that asset. So this trifecta will help you actually get the new LLC business line of credit from a big national bank that you need and deserve. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I am still talking to you about the best way to get a new LLC business line of credit from a big national bank. We're talking about the Wells Fargo of the world. We're speaking about the Chase of the world. We're speaking about the Bank of America of the world. We're speaking about the PNC and a U.S. bank at a lower level because those banks are regional. But the top 3 or 4, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and so those are really big. So how do you actually get a line of credit from them if you're a new LLC? Well, you have to show, this is number 6, you want to show projected sales. You got to have it ready. Okay. And the projected sales are very important because they not only talk about where your business is right now, but it talks about where your business will be in 6 months, in 1 year, in terms of projected sales, in terms of sales. Okay. And the cool thing is you have to substantiate the numbers in the projections. You have to explain to the bank why you believe there will be a growth percentage rate of 10% versus 11% or 12% or 15% or 20%. What I'm trying to say is you got to be ready to substantiate, to back up whatever data you put in the assumptions, okay? And also when we talk about projected sales, we are speaking about full financial statements. Yeah, boss. Yeah, you better really understand this right now. See, when we talk about full financial statements, you got to be ready to present that to the bank. Because the bank is, remember what I said about the bank being risk averse. In other words, they don't want your ass anyway because you're too new for them. But you got to show them, hey, listen, I have projected sales, but also projected financial statements, balance sheet, cash flow statement, profit and loss statement, and stockholders' equity statement. And you can do the projections for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 1 year, 2 years, 4 years. It really depends on you. Make sure, again, the projections are realistic. We're talking about using numbers you can back up, okay? And most importantly, make sure that the projections show numbers that are positive. If you want a bank to give you a new LLC business line of credit and you have nothing else, you cannot have negative projections, okay? It doesn't make sense. So here is the approach you should follow. You want to actually prepare your projected sales first. Then you want to prepare your projected financial statements, making sure the sales number are in sync. They are tied to the numbers in your income statements, okay? And overall, make sure the projections are realistic. Last but not the least, you got to think about business plan. Oh, those bankers, I'm telling you, boss, those bankers, they love business plans. I mean, they need business plans because their money, before you get their money, you better be solid, okay? So it's not about just talking about being a legit business or having a personal FICO that's high or, being able to be in a position where you can show capacity to repay the business line of credit. They want to know that you'll be around 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now. And what better way? I mean, when you sit down and close your eyes, what is the best way to show a bank that you will be around for a lot of years? Well, your business plan is part of that. Your business plan is showing the bank that, hey, listen, I have a vision for the future. I know what I'm doing, okay? And a business plan has several parts. You have the executive summary, you have the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is what we call the competitive analysis, okay? You have to give a little bit of the owner's bio is important, because the bank wants to know who is behind the bio. And in some cases, they might ask the owners to be guarantors of the new LLC business line of credit. So they need to know a lot about the owners, okay? And you also need to think about who can write the business plan for you. If you cannot write it yourself, again, we said this in other shows, it's important to have the right expertise on board, okay? And the right expertise can be local. You can have a business plan writer, or it could be international. You can go on Fiverr.com. You can go on Upwork.com. You can go on TopTal.com. You can go on Freelancer.com and hire someone to write a business plan for you. Okay, but if you don't want, if for any reason you don't want a third party to write your business plan for you, you can write it yourself using software. Okay, business plan software can also help. And it helps big time. We're talking about having software like Enloop, BizPlan, LivePlan, okay? And don't forget to include financial projections in your business plan. So big decision time, boss. Big decision time. Do you have a business plan right now? If not, you need to write a new one. If you have an existing business plan, you need to update it. Very important. Okay. And I'm talking about having a final product that is as professional as you can have it. Very, very important. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate that. In today's conversation, I'm talking to you about new LLC business line of credit from a big national bank if you have fair or bad credit. And I've given you a few tips and tricks, a few hacks that can help you actually get the business line of credit. First, make sure that you take care of legitimacy. Choose the right lender. You want to start things from the bank where you're currently at, okay? And you want to pay attention to your personal FICO. Pay attention to your cash position, the collateral that you want to pledge, that you may pledge. You want to prepare a projected sales, and last but not the least, you want to have a business plan. Thank you so much for your attention once again. God bless you, and stay marvelous.